So measuring the sag, the static sag and the race sag of your bike is a really critical element, something a lot of people kind of really overlook in a lot of ways. It completely dictates the chassis geometry, and in a lot of ways the way that both the shock and the fork work and the way they work in harmony. So, setting sag, I guess there's a few ways to do it. Some people do it by trial and error, guess and say, yeah, that's about right. And I've seen a lot of people do that. You've obviously got a tape measure where you can just measure between your axle and a fixed point on your rear guard. Guys like Motion Pro bring out this sag scale tool, which makes folding sag scale tool, which makes life a little bit easier. But the guys from Mountain Race Shop have recently brought out a digital version. It's called the Motool Slacker digital sag tool. And we've been using this for a little while, and the good thing about it is that it's really easy to use, and better still, if you've got no friends, you can actually use it by yourself. How it works quickly, it's got a pretty strong magnet on here. Yeah, I can hear you guys saying, well, what happens with all your alloy nuts these days? Well, it actually is strong enough still to clamp on right there onto your axle, your steel axle behind the nut. It does come with a little bracket that you actually mount on there, but I've found that that's a little bit, it moves a little bit. So what made life a whole lot easier, it's got a retracting cord here. We just basically just drilled a little hole, boom. So you've got to make sure that's in line, turn the thing on, zero it. So that is now your base measurement from which, we'll rip it off the stand in a moment, measure both the static sag and then the race sag. Okay, so once we've got the bike off the static stand, your first measurement is your static sag. So the correct way really of doing it is basically lifting it up, letting it settle. There I've got 33, 34. Pushing it down, don't let it spring up, just let it come back. There's 40, take an average of the two, and you've got about sort of 36, 37. This bike does like a little bit of extra sag. As I mentioned before, if you've got no friends, this is really where the cool part comes in. You can do it yourself. As you can see here, we've got a little wire which connects to a screen, and instead of trying to measure it, lean back, which is obviously going to muck up your measurements, you can actually sit here in your race position, get the thing set. I mean, ideally you have somebody else holding it, but just take a little weight in your natural riding position. And there we go, 106, game on, done deal.